My dear engines, it is a most exciting day, Mr. Catherick enthused one morning. Walter and Winnie glanced knowingly at each other. It seemed every day was exciting to their manager. Thanks to a loan from the bank, our coaches have finally arrived. I expect you both to pull them properly. Is that understood? He finished, staring at Walter. Understood, sir. The tank engine grunted reluctantly. Excelsior! Mr. Catherick proclaimed. Walter shall take the morning train. Winnie, the afternoon service is yours. Mind you don't shake the passengers up too much, Winnie chuckled to her twin. Otherwise, the coaches will be empty come my turn. Winnie took to the coaches like a duck to water. That's the way, just right. That's the way, just right, she puffed happily. Gentle, trick, trick, and fast, trot, trot. Gentle, trick, trick, and fast, trot, trot, the coaches sang. She kept to time, giving a whistle and a smile wherever she went. The passengers were thoroughly impressed. To no one's surprise, Walter's work was far from impressive. The coaches didn't sing. Time after time, he lost his race against the hands of the clock. I did not think a matter as simple as keeping to time would challenge you so, Walter, Mr. Catherick sighed. It's not for lack of trying, sir. It's that I don't want excuses, Mr. Catherick interrupted. I want results. Effective today, Winnie shall be handling all passenger services. Perhaps goods work will reacquaint you with the work ethic I expect of my engines. He spun on his heel and strode away. Does he think that's a punishment? Walter sniffed. Good riddance, I say. Early next morning, Winnie was being readied for the first train. She was bubbling with pride and letting off great whooshes of steam. Oh, you're revoltingly chipper for 6:30 in the morning, Walter yawned. The early engine gets the train. That sluggishness won't win you back the morning runs. I'm not sluggish, Walter scowled. I was only late because no time for excuses, Winnie interrupted as her driver pulled the lever. My passengers are waiting. Walter watched her go, chuckling. I suppose she'll find out for herself. The journey began well. Winnie puffed steadily along, and the coaches followed smoothly. The passengers talked of what a fine railway it was, which only inflated Winnie's sense of importance. At the first station, she waited for more passengers to board. Is it time to leave yet? She quizzed. Not if you haven't heard the guard's whistle, chuckled her driver. Be patient. Neither Winnie nor the driver could have known that Mr. Jones, now acting as guard, had left the coach. And gone to a nearby house. The minutes ticked past, and Winnie heard the other passengers starting to grumble. Right, she decided. If I wait any longer, I'll be worse than Walter. With a hiss and a whistle, she started away. Whoa, Winnie! Steady! Cried her driver. Off we go, she puffed noisily. So noisily, in fact, that she didn't hear a shout from up the lane. Winnie arrived at the end of the line in good time. To her surprise, Mr. Catherick stepped out from the coaches. A most pleasant journey, Winnie. I'm right on time to make our next payment for the coaches you pull so well. Winnie blushed a deep scarlet and watched her manager hurry off to the bank. He returned quite suddenly. Sir's just as quick as I am, she thought smugly. Mr. Catherick wasn't smiling. It's rather difficult to make a payment when Mr. Buxton isn't at his bank. Bother, a waste of a perfectly good morning. Fear not, sir, Winnie smiled. I'll get you back down the line as soon as I can. The smile returned to Mr. Catherick's face as he boarded the coaches once more. Winnie hurried off, beaming with pride. She was certain nothing could spoil her day. However, her certainty was dashed as she neared the first station. On the platform stood Mr. Jones, along with a rather large man in a bedraggled housecoat. Shaving cream dripped from his mustache, and his face was beet red. Before Winnie could say anything, Mr. Catherick burst from the coach. Mr. Jones? Mr. Buxton?
Catherick,
Mr. Buxton grumbled.
is this how you repay me? Jones came to fetch me, as he always does, but this miserable engine of yours left before I could even finish shaving.
I'm truly sorry, Mr. Buxton, Mr. Catherick stammered. We certainly wouldn't want to offend you, especially after your generosity. Pardon me, sir, Winnie interrupted, but I can't understand how any of this is my fault. Mr. Buxton glared. Winifred, Mr. Catherick hissed. I care deeply for my passengers, sir, she continued. All my passengers. I am a punctual engine, and I cannot disappoint my friends. They seem to adhere to our schedule quite easily. Mr. Buxton's grimace softened. In fact, Winnie continued, Mr. Catherick boarded my timely train to meet with you for a scheduled repayment. But here you are, still in your housecoat. I don't understand this bank business, sir, but I do know the right way to run my trains.
I suppose my investment doesn't give me the right to change a timetable. Let us reschedule. Same time tomorrow, Catherick?
Yes, Mr. Buxton, of course, at your convenience.
Good little engine you've got here, Catherick,
Mr. Buxton added, turning to leave.
You will be waiting for me tomorrow, won't you?
As long as you don't keep me waiting, sir, Winnie chuckled. Mr. Buxton gave a wink, and, though concealed by his mustache, Winnie was certain she saw a smile before he walked back to his house. Mr. Catherick promptly collapsed. It was lucky Mr. Jones caught him. "I'm sorry, sir, if I spoke out of turn," said Winnie. "I was only looking out for our other passengers." "A most admirable quality," Mr. Catherick croaked, regaining composure. "Oh, and I gather Walter was only doing the same. I owe him an apology, and perhaps another chance." "No, thank you, sir," Walter chuckled that night. "I get on much better with wagons than passengers. Winnie was practically built for this sort of thing." "A compliment from you?" Winnie teased. "Thank you, Walter. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you. Perhaps I need to do more of that in future." "Oh, remember you said that," Walter winked slyly. From that day on, Winnie pulled the passengers with pride. Every morning, Mr. Buxton stood waiting on the platform. "Looking very smart today, sir," Winnie would remark. "And punctual, too." Mr. Buxton always gave an appreciative smile. Knowing he'd get to his bank on time. Thanks to Winnie's way.